Adolf Hitler, born on April 20, 1889, in Braunau am Inn, Austria-Hungary, now Austria, was a German politician, dictator, and leader of the National Socialist German Workers' Party, Nazi Party. As Chancellor and later Führer of Nazi Germany, Hitler orchestrated World War II and the Holocaust, events that led to the deaths of tens of millions and left a lasting scar on world history. Hitler was the fourth of 6 children born to Alois Hitler, a strict and often violent customs official, and Clara Paulsel, his third wife, who was gentle and deeply devoted to her son. Of the 6 children, only Adolf and his sister Paula survived to adulthood. His early life was marked by instability. The family moved frequently, and Adolf often clashed with his authoritarian father. Alois wanted Adolf to pursue a career in civil service, but Adolf dreamed of becoming an artist. After his father's death in 1903, Hitler continued to live with his mother and attempted to follow his artistic ambitions. In 1907 and 1908, Hitler applied to the Academy of Fine Arts in Vienna but was rejected both times. Following these failures and his mother's death in 1907, he lived a marginal life in Vienna, staying in shelters and hostels. During this time, he developed many of the ideas that would later define his political ideology, especially extreme nationalism, anti-Semitism, and hatred of Marxism. World War I and political rise. In 1913, Hitler moved to Munich, Germany. When World War I broke out in 1914, he enlisted in the German army and served as a messenger on the Western Front. He was wounded twice and awarded the Iron Cross for bravery. The war gave his life purpose, and Germany's defeat in 1918 devastated him. Like many others, Hitler blamed Germany's loss on internal betrayal, particularly by Jews and communists, a belief that fed his future ideology. After the war, Hitler joined a small nationalist group, the German Workers' Party, which later became the National Socialist German Workers' Party, NSDAP, or Nazi Party. His fiery oratory, propaganda skills, and radical views helped him rise quickly. By the early 1920s, he had become the party's undisputed leader. In 1923, Hitler attempted a coup known as the Beer Hall Putsch in Munich. It failed, and he was imprisoned for 9 months. During his time in jail, he wrote Mein Kampf, My Struggle, outlining his racist ideology, belief in Aryan superiority, hatred of Jews, and plans for German expansion. After his release, Hitler rebuilt the Nazi Party, focusing on legal methods to gain power. The Great Depression of the 1930s created fertile ground for his message. Widespread unemployment, economic despair, and fear of communism made many Germans receptive to his promises of national revival. In 1933, Hitler was appointed Chancellor of Germany. Following the Reichstag fire, he persuaded President Paul von Hindenburg to sign the Reichstag Fire Decree, suspending civil liberties. Soon after, the Enabling Act gave him dictatorial powers. By 1934, after Hindenburg's death, Hitler merged the presidency with the chancellorship, declaring himself Führer. He eliminated political opposition, controlled the media, and established a police state governed by terror through the Gestapo and SS. World War II and the Holocaust. Hitler's aggressive foreign policy aimed at overturning the Treaty of Versailles and expanding German territory. He remilitarized the Rhineland, annexed Austria, Anschluss, in 1938, and seized Czechoslovakia. On September 1, 1939, Germany invaded Poland, prompting Britain and France to declare war, marking the start of World War II. As the war raged, Hitler implemented the final solution, a systematic plan to exterminate European Jews. This resulted in the Holocaust, in which 6 million Jews and millions of others, Roma, disabled individuals, political prisoners, and others, were murdered in concentration and extermination camps. Initially, Nazi Germany experienced rapid military victories. But after the failed invasion of the Soviet Union in 1941 and the US entering the war, the tide turned. Germany suffered major defeats at Stalingrad, 1943, and Normandy, 1944. As Allied forces closed in on Berlin in April 1945, Hitler retreated to his underground bunker beneath the Reich Chancellery. On April 30, 1945, he committed suicide by gunshot, alongside his longtime companion and brief wife, Eva Braun, who took poison. His death marked the collapse of the Third Reich. Germany surrendered on May 8, 1945. Hitler's legacy is one of destruction, genocide, and war. He left behind a world profoundly affected by the horrors of Nazi ideology. Adolf Hitler's rise from a failed art student to the dictator of Nazi Germany remains one of history's most chilling transformations. His leadership led to unprecedented human suffering and global conflict. The consequences of his actions continue to serve as a grim reminder of the dangers of totalitarianism, unchecked power, and extremist ideology.